Hello, YouTube world. Thanks for tuning in. Today we have yet another video, which involves stocks and bonds. Today we'll be going over Apple. As we all know, Apple has been going through, different things, especially with these tariffs and everything else. But as the S&P 500 prevails, Apple really isn't looking too bad, and so I definitely want to take a look. We'll show you guys what's going on. Apple definitely pays a dividend yield of 0.14, and the market opened up in a couple hours, but there's some news about Apple, so let's get into it. They're currently going for $256.08 a share, and they're up actually 10.58. So let's begin. Today's Tuesday, so uh, as we can see, this whole area is green, right? I'm not exactly saying to go on ahead and purchase Apple because we want to wait until it open. But as the pre-text shows right here, between the lines of 251, 254, definitely right here is the buying power. Green is to buy, red is to sell. And that middle line right here, is what you want to pay attention to. So for the following week, even though the buying power splits right here, but if you were to hold, it shoots straight up right here, right? I do believe with all the tariffs and all the taxes that's going on, that I think Apple is pretty much bouncing back. So again, even with this middle line right here, the show is all in here. Everybody is buying in this area, and then it shoots all the way up, and that's what you want to see, right? So let's take a look for the rest of the month. Again, it's definitely skyrocketing. Because there's so many things you can do with your with an Apple phone. Has great quality, great video, things to that nature. And so for the rest of this month, you know, definitely right here by the 9, how it goes straight up, right? And like I said in the previous videos, green is to buy, red is to sell. So if you have like a little application through your phone, definitely see if you can put a few dollars into Apple. Now let's take a look for the next 3 months. It's definitely showing in this area, you know. even though possibly like the job market, could be rough right now. Um, but things should turn around very rapidly. You know, just keep your head up and keep pushing. Do what you can. That works best. But as you can see, there's been a line right here. It's kind of much the turn where you want to pay attention, like the turning point, because right here is more of the example of the buying power, and you wait in this area. This is what you do. You wait because it's not gonna fully go all the way down, right? So the longer you wait, as you can see, it should bounce right back up. And that's exactly what we wanted to do. For the next 6 months, and Apple, I believe they raised their dividends. Um, Apple is definitely here to stay. They've been here for quite some time, I believe since the 80s. And so they definitely have an idea about what's going on. And so when you pay attention, it drops, right? But it doesn't drop significantly enough that there's no profit. It's just, when it rebounds. I think the market is opening right now. They could be down. Let's take a look real quick. 6 months for the day. Okay, well, yeah. So the market is just now opening up. But give it some time, about an hour or two. And then, hopefully, you see how it changed right there? So, yeah, we should be fine. For the next 6 months, pay attention to this line right here. And day trading is more of an advanced chart, but they have simpler charts, right? But it's all pretty much the same, right? Just remember this middle line. When you look at the graph, right? No matter what the graph is, when you look at this middle line right here, that pretty much tells you the story. The buying power is right here, and it goes all the way up. So let's take a look for the following year. Now, these are all predictions, but at the same time, you know, we can pretty much tell because a lot of people have Apple phones at the same time, too. So remember, green is to buy, red is to sell. And all in this area right here is major profit, you know. Even though the line comes down, but it doesn't necessarily pass that middle line right here, you know. And it does take a little further dip, but again, it's nothing to really panic about because it's not really showing no types of negative meaning like the red part, you know. So the next 2 years, again, they're looking really, really good, you know. But the main area is right here. This is where the story begins. You see, because for the rest of the 2 years or the rest of that time, it begins right here, right? Major buy. You see, and that's where you get all this in this area too. Let's take a look for the next 5 years. You see, green is to buy, red is to sell, and this is where the marks begins right here. You see, so always pay attention to like these corners right here and right there. Not necessarily right here because how it shoots up and green is to buy, red is to sell, because of what's going to happen during this time. So it really starts right there. So let's take a look for the next 10 years. Now, investing is definitely a long-term strategy. Over time, it should make you quite wealthy over time. But 5 years, 10 years, You see, so even in this area, even though there's nothing right here, but as time goes on, it's all right here. And Apple may be, one of the best phones out there, even though they cost $257.05 a share. But I mean, it's a very popular phone. Let's take a look overall. What does that say? Even from 1984 all the way until 2024, 40 years, 40 years in the making, you see, all in there. Between the 131 and the 196, when you look at the graph. I would like to say thanks for tuning in. You guys are the best. Until next time, keep investing and stay positive.